Okay, everybody knows what April 1st is, right?
Yeah, April Fool's Day.
It is that, as well as it's National Census Day. Every 10 years, the Census Bureau gathers its information to give an accurate snapshot of what our country looks like. But as NBC6 reporter Dan Grossman shows us, those numbers do a lot more than just tell us about our population.
Anyone else stressed about filing their taxes? God, they're the worst. Last thing you probably want to worry about is also filling out your census forms. Sure, you won't get money back from the government for doing it, but your community might. We'll explain on this week's breakdown. To many, the census might mean little to nothing, just a bunch of numbers that basically say how many people are in the country, right? Technically, yes, but that's just scratching the surface.
This really does matter, and it's not just, it's hard to make it exciting, but it's important.
Gerrymandering has been something we've covered a bunch here on NBC6. Accurate redistricting comes down to an accurate census. So does the number of congressional seats given to each state. Of the 435 in the entire country, Florida has 27. And because of its growth this last decade in population, it's projected to get 2 more.
With 2 more, each representative can be more responsive to their constituents because each constituent unit will be a little bit smaller.
Then there's the whole issue of federal money. In 2015, the government dished out $675 billion to states and local communities. This helped fund highway projects, schools, disaster relief, and programs that help lower income communities. The amounts given to each state and municipality are determined by the census.
Before you know it, it'll be $1 trillion, I'm sure. That's a lot of money that gets spread around for the benefit of our citizens. And if we don't know where they are, where the concentration is, it'll be misallocated.
So last year, the Trump administration tried requiring people to list whether or not they're a U.S. citizen on their census forms, but it was quickly struck down in the Supreme Court. Diane says because the census is a snapshot of our entire country, it's important for every group, especially minorities, to fill them out accurately.
That no one who doesn't need to have access to this information could have access to anyone's personally identifiable information. Mm-hmm. And the information is really important.
It is one of the rare things that is nonpartisan. It is important to the entire country. And our system of government, indeed, our House of Representatives, is based on the census.
National surveys, political polls, major business decisions like where a company should put a big distribution center, it is all heavily determined by the information gathered through the census. So sure, filling out the form might not seem all that appealing, but think about everything that data affects, and it just might. Now, if only I could say the same about doing those taxes. Hey, I'm Dan Grossman, and thanks for being with us on this week's Breakdown.
Yeah, a lot of us can agree to that.
Yeah, it really does mean a lot, so you've got to fill it out.
Well, that does it for the news at 5.
The news at 5:30 is next.